Hello everybody. Today we're going to be using the Brighten Active app with our Rider 750 to modify the bike profile settings. So first, we're going to start by opening the Brighten Active app on our smart device and ensure that our Rider 750 is powered on and already paired with our smart device. So once the Brighten Active app loads, we're going to go and click on the Settings tab in the bottom right-hand corner. In this tab, we can see that the Rider 750 is already paired and successfully connected with the Brighten Active app. After this has been confirmed, we'll click on the Bike Settings option, which may take a minute to load once we press it. But after a few seconds of loading, we'll be able to see that there are 3 bike profiles that we have available to configure on our Rider 750. Among these options, first we're going to go ahead and customize with the name of our first bike profile. So, since I plan to set this up for my road bike, I'll go ahead and name this one just Road. So once that gets typed in, we'll press the OK button. And for the second option, we'll want to modify the speed source for the Rider 750. After we click on this option, you will see that we have the options of GPS speed or speed and cadence. Since we're setting this up for my road bike, I plan to use this primarily outside, so I'll choose the GPS option. However, if this were for indoor, we could choose speed or speed cadence option. For my priority 2, I'm going to choose speed. That way, if I ever decide to use a speed sensor, it'll pick that up. And we're going to next go down to our other options, and you can see we have ride time, altitude gain and loss, as well as our trip 1 and 2 distances. Because it's the first time using the Rider 750 with this bike, I'm going to leave these with the defaults. But what I do want to pay attention to is the GPS option. As you can see, our default setting shows GPS plus GLONASS. Since I plan to ride primarily within the European Union, I want to choose GPS plus Galileo plus QZ option, which will improve my GPS accuracy in this region while riding outside. Moving on, we will then choose to modify the grid settings for this profile. So each of your 3 profiles can be modified to have different data and different data field profiles that are best customized to your riding preferences. So to begin, I'm going to go ahead and customize my first page on the Rider 750, and we're going to show the live changes on the Rider 750 as we modify it. So we'll click into the meter page. For me, there are a few too many data fields on the first page for when I'm writing. So I want to bring this down to the 5A option, that we only have 5 data fields on this page. Okay, I do prefer to have speed as my top option, so we'll leave that. But what I want to change is I want to add time to my second field. So once I click time and press OK, everything else looks okay to me on this page. So I'll press the back button and return to the bike settings page. So for this profile, you can still modify the auto pause and auto lap functions, which you'll be able to see down here below. But at least for my road profile, I want to keep these the same. Once you check that everything looks good, we're going to minimize this profile. And now I want to set up my indoor bike as a second profile. So I'll name this one Indoor to keep it simple, and then press OK. On the Rider 750, we'll return to our home screen, and then we can see our second profile now appears as Indoor. Okay, for this one, we want to modify the speed source again, and we want to set up the first priority as speed, and the second one to GPS. Because this is an indoor bike that will use a speed sensor as its primary speed reading, we want to make sure that this is set up properly so there is no interference from outdoor GPS signals. So I'm going to keep some of these other settings the same. I'll return back to the grid settings option, and again customize the first page. Here you can see the default setup for this data page, but since we'll be riding indoors, and it'll be a little easier to see, we want to customize the first option to be a little different for speed. I'll scroll down to the unique to the Rider 750 category option graph, and I'm going to choose the speed ring option. What this will do is make good use of this Rider 750's new Vivid graphical user interface to display a graphical speedometer with clearer colors. Moving bars and more information including current and max speed. So the other options I do want to keep the same, and once everything is confirmed that looks okay, we will want to exit out of here. When this finishes loading, you can see that the two profiles that we set up today are configured. The third one will leave the same from the Brighton Active app, since we only want to set up the 2 today from here, but can also be modified in the same way that was shown today. And just like that, we've configured the bike profiles on the Rider 750 from the Brighton Active app. However, let's say that we want to use the Rider 750 device to customize our third profile. So if we want to do this, we're going to go to our device, and again we're going to swipe up to return to the home screen and go to the third bike profile. Once there, we're going to press the settings option and press into bike settings and choose the third option, which is bike 3. From here, you'll have many of the same options that you had using the Brighton Active app. First, we're going to select Ride Config, and again we have a few options to modify data pages for this profile. We'll again choose page 1, and then choose the number of data fields for this page, followed by the OK button. So for this one, we'll choose 4B, so it has a little bit less data on it. And then from here, if you want to modify a data field, all you have to do is long press the field until it is highlighted, followed by a single tap again on the field to confirm. So we want to add another graphical data field for this option. And this time, I want to add a cadence ring for the first field. Moving down, we'll do the same for the second field once this is selected. Okay, and then going to the second field, we're going to follow the same instructions here. And we're going to add another graphical field. And for this one, I want to use the speed bar option. So what the speed bar option will do, which is a little bit different than the ring options, is that as your ride progresses, a bar chart will appear of your ride as you go. This will give you an overview of your speed, or whichever type of data you've selected, as you progress throughout the ride. It does have additionally the option to show you the max and current speed, which is shown right above the speed bar. So once you've confirmed these changes, we would like to make, we're going to press the OK button and return back to the Ride Config page. So from here, we can also modify our alerts, and for this profile, we do want to add an alert. And what we want to do is configure an alert based on time. So we will select the time option. We can tap to activate. Then we'll click into the time option to choose the interval at which we would like to receive the alerts. So I'll go ahead and add a 15-minute alert and then press OK. And now we will receive an alert every 15 minutes during our ride. And then we will return back once everything looks okay. And you do have a couple other options for alerts, such as speed, cadence, heart rate, and so on. But for now, we just want to stick with time for this bike profile. Okay, and if everything looks so good, we're going to again press the return button to go up a level. And we want to go all the way back to bike settings. So from here, we're going to choose the GPS system, because we do want to ensure that we're in fact using Galileo for the reasons we mentioned earlier. And looking at our options, I'm going to look at the high accuracy area, and I want to select the first one with Galileo listed. However, there are other options such as QZSS and Galileo or Power Save with just GPS, which will increase your overall battery life, but with slight sacrifices to GPS accuracy. If this looks okay, we'll again return and go back to the overview. which will give us a brief overview of the stats for this profile, like trip 1 and 2, ride time, and so on. As an example, we can go into our trip 1 overview and manually input a distance, for example, 500 kilometers. So, when we view our trip 1 time on the Rider 750, it'll start us off at the 500 kilometer mark that we entered here. Okay, so we'll return back, but that is the entire process. As you can see, adding and customizing one of the 3 bike profiles is super easy to do, either from the Brighton Active app or the Rider 750, and it only takes a couple of minutes to do. So that is all for today. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, and thank you for watching.